my son. We're graduating from here.
No.
I call the Roselle Park Board of Education meeting on February 5th, 2019 to order. This meeting is held in the Aldine School Gymnasium Auditorium. It is an open session of the Roselle Park Board of Education held under the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey. Notice of this meeting was sent to the Star Ledger, local sources, the Home News Tribune, the Borough Clerk, school offices, and the district website. Roll call, please.
President Carnes.
Here.
Vice President Signorella.
Here.
Ms. Carlstrom here. Ms. Falcon here. Mr. Hemingway. Mr. Leingen.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Powers.
Here.
Mr. Santangelo.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I will open up the first public participation. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to speak on any agenda items only. No rush. Seeing none, I will close the public portion on agenda items. At this time, we're going to committee reports. Are there any?
Mr. President, I have one. I went to the Saturn Center meeting and I wanted to announce. I wanted to announce that the Saturn Center offers free self-defense and martial arts classes for children in the 5th grade and older, and also for adults. They are offered on Mondays and Wednesdays, if I'm not mistaken. And also this Saturday is their Valentine's Day. All residents are welcome to attend. It is from 12 to 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other committee?
Yes, Mr. President, if I may, concerning the curriculum committee, I wanted to say 2 weeks ago we met with the curriculum council, which consists of Mr. Salvo and also some administrators from the district and also teachers. A nice representation of the 3 elementaries, middle, and high school. We all met at the Roselle Park High School, and what we went over there were 3 things. First thing was we went over it was a roundtable on some of the initiatives that they're introducing and some that have been implemented. And one of them was RTI, which is Response to Intervention. And basically what Response to Intervention is it's a program that helps our children of Roselle Park, of the Roselle Park School District, who may be struggling with their academic achievement. And it actually kind of differentiates, or it breaks it down into 3 levels. And the first level is basically a general help level, where maybe we're offering an after-school program for children who may be struggling to keep a grade level. And the second level would be a little bit more intense with a targeted help, which could be tutoring or, again, other more in-depth programs. And finally, there's a third tier, which is more like an intensive intervention, which would be maybe possible special programs for the children to help them. But what RTI brings to our district is just different, targeted, differentiated help for children who are struggling at 3 different levels, which is very good. So it's not just one rule or one program reaches all, but it's actually tailoring to help meet the individual needs of our students. And actually, some of our staff from our district have gone out and they're doing a pilot program, and they're kind of partnering up with Somerville School District, who actually have been implementing RTI for some time now, and it's been successful. So we're not recreating the wheel, but we're just seeing how well it's run, and hopefully we can bring it back and turnkey it in our district. Also at our meeting, we went over pacing guides, looking forward to the 2019 and 20 school year, fine-tuning some pacing guides and getting some staff to work on putting the finishing touches on that as well going forward. And last but not least, concerning data-driven instruction, this is our first year that we're in an analytical program called Link It. And basically, Link It is a tool that our teachers can use to assess our children to find out where they are academically. And it's just like I'm a teacher, and it's like me giving a pre-test to my children to find out, where they're strong in, where the areas of weaknesses that I need to work on and stress. That's basically the same thing. It's a computer-based program, and it's administered, I believe, 3 times a year. And that's just eventually with the objective of working smarter. And if Sarah knows how to add 2 + 2, then we really don't need to go over addition, so much, because she already knows that, so we can go on possibly to a more challenging area where it has been identified from her taking this analytical test called Link It. So it's been implemented. Last year we did a pilot. This year it's in implementation, and it's a work in progress. And it was great to hear the feedback from the teachers. Some great discussions. And having all the schools represented there, people could talk and connect, and we're still working it out. And there's still some kinks that need to be worked out, because the teacher has a very, very busy day, and this is one more thing that they have to do. But hopefully, once we learn we can use it, it will actually be a benefit and actually a time saver. So we're still working on that, but looking forward to other curriculum council meetings. And the curriculum council we all met, and we got to meet everyone, which was great. And I look forward to another committee meeting soon to directly speak with Mr. Salvo, with our other committee members, Mrs. Carlstrom and Mrs. Falcon as well. So that is my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes. Mr. Pratt? Mr. President, met with the calendar committee last week, and it was an interesting committee to be on. But I think we have a good calendar set for next year, and I guess we'll be further discussing if we'd like to amend that and go forward with the rest of the board. And then Mr. Guido could probably give an update on too. And then met with the finance committee, and the chair's not here tonight, but we have a good schedule, and we'll meet that schedule, and we'll do a fine job like the best finance committee has made. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Just a little comment on the calendar. I thank the calendar committee for coming up and having election day off. We've been struggling over the past couple of years on whether we should close it or not, and this year, election, we are going to be closed that day. So that's good to hear that. I looked at the calendar. I think the calendar is pretty good. Please, everyone, look at the calendar. Get back to the superintendent. If you see something you don't like, because we'd like to approve it February 26th. So if you don't do it by then, hold your peace. Okay, anybody else? Hearing none, we will close that and we will move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Wong. Just a comment on the calendar. I did not send the calendar to the rest of the board. I will be sending it tomorrow morning. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, to Mr. Cinderella, being that he's on the committee as well. As Mr. Wong indicated, I think it's a really good calendar that the board will be approving this year. Obviously, our number one concern is make sure that we maximize instructional time for our students without the least amount of disruption that we can cause. So, and I think the committee did a great job in doing that this year and closing election day, because I know there are parents and, of course, board members and staff that were very concerned about the safety of our students during election day. So certainly is a big plus for security and safety of our students. The district received the New Jersey CUSAC placement letter based on the interim visit that was held back in December, where we met with the county superintendent, the educational specialist at that time. The scores are as follows. We received for instruction and program 77%, fiscal management 100%, governance 98%, operations 100%, personnel 100%. Even though the 77% falls below the 80% that we need to satisfy the requirements, it is encouraging. And one of the reasons why we saw that is we have seen growth in our test scores and in our students' individual progress. The one area that we were most points in, but we will be getting them back in June to put us over the 80%, is there is a mandate in the state of New Jersey now that requires every district to have a visual and performing arts curriculum from the elementary grades all the way to high school. Right now, we do have at the high school level a visual and performing arts, not at the elementary level. One of the things that are maybe required, we need some clarifications because it's new, is we may need to hire a dance teacher because dance is part of the curriculum that they're looking for. So I have directed our director of curriculum to obviously start working on a visual and performing arts curriculum for K through 12, including dance and theater. So in June, we will be monitored once again by the county office, and I'm very encouraged that we'll receive the point for those for that curriculum as well. So again, we're in very good shape as a district. Our scores are on the way up, and as our individual student growth, which has been going up ever since the first year of Park. So when we compare one year to the next, with our students from year to year, they have increased scores individually. So that's a very good sign. Our high school will be having the 8th grade orientation for parents tomorrow night, starting, I believe, at 6:30. It's an excellent opportunity for parents to go to the high school and find out about the activities, the programs. Obviously, the highlight will be the STEAM wing, which they will be toured for them as well. Last week, for the first time, we did something that the district had not done before. We brought our 8th graders, and I know that was one of the board members' suggestions, to bring the students over to the high school so they can experience all the great things that are going on there. So last week, all the 8th graders visited the high school. They took a tour of the STEAM lab. They spoke to teachers. They were given information about activities, programs, and everything that they have at the high school that they may not be able to have at any other high school. So we're looking forward with optimism and encouragement that our high school students are going to be receiving, as I always say, the best education that the state can offer. So we will continue to work on that. They do have a one-to-one initiative there where every student receives a laptop. Our character education and our social emotional learning programs are receiving really good feedback from everyone, and it's really a wonderful place to be. So that will be tomorrow night, so I encourage the parents to please attend. Our early childhood, we just added a link to our website with information regarding the lottery. We do have openings for next year for free tuition preschool for approximately 30 students. So what we'll do again this, I believe it's April 10th, we will have a lottery. We will select the first 30 students that will be receiving the free tuition preschool. We will also be adding more information as we go along. For example, preschool curriculum that the state is requiring us to have, and additional information regarding the activities, programs, the daily schedule for the students, and all of that. So again, looking forward for a successful preschool experience for the students. I think this was a wonderful gift for our district to receive that grant, and students are going to be the ones benefiting from having that. So With that, I close my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. On the lottery, this lottery is for new students.
Correct.
The students that are in now, they're already in that particular program, and so this is a 30 extra.
30 extra spaces that will be open.
I just want to make
Yeah,
clear that
the reason for that is some 4-year-olds obviously will be aging out and going to kindergarten, so that opens space. But the 3-year-olds that are moving out, they already have a space. They already have a spot.
Anybody who's there, has a spot.
As a spot.
Okay, if they're willing to stay.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. President, if
Yes.
I may. Mr. Guido, just a quick check. That wonderful event at the high school tomorrow begins at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for clarification.
Sure.
Well, you can get there at 6:30, so you can start seeing.
Yeah.
Get there at 6.
The doors will be open.
Mr. President, one more question.
Sure.
Superintendent, could you repeat those CUSAC numbers again?
Yes, the CUSAC numbers are instruction and program 77%, fiscal management 100%, governance 98%, operations 100%, and personnel 100%.
We know which table is responsible for the -2 on governance.
I cannot say because I'm evaluating the personnel here. But I do know.
Anyone else have a question? All right, hearing none, we move on to the consent agenda. Under personnel, items 1 through 6. 1, district substitutes. 2, staff resignation. 3, change of assignments. 4, additional sections. 5, staff appointments. And 6, maternity leave of absence request. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Vice President Signorella?
Yes.
Ms. Carlstrom?
Yes.
Ms. Falcon?
Yes.
Mr. Hemingway? Mr. Linehan?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Santangelo?
Yes.
President Harms?
Yes.
On roll call, motion carries.
Next, we move on to education, items 7 through 11. 7, 2019 Roosevelt Park Summer Camp. 8, education programs. 9, education troop request. 10, ESY program 2019. 11, ESL Title 1 Summer Enrichment Program. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to business. Agenda items 12 through 18. Number 12, monthly certifications. 13, transfers. 14, approval of bills. 15, approval of minutes. 16, secretary treasurer's report. 17, along as usual, use of buildings and grounds. And 18, grant acceptance. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second. Mr. President, I have to abstain from number 18.
Okay. Anyone else? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We will move on to continuing business. If there isn't any. Hearing none. New business. Hearing none there also. We will move on to our second public portion. At this time, anyone wishing to speak on any item, please come forward, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to give your comments. Yeah? sure that nobody wants to close session? Hearing none or seeing none coming forward, I'll close these in a second. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm closing the, I was going to ask for adjournment. Yes, I was going to ask for adjournment. Yes, because she's not there. Okay. At this time, I'll close the second public portion. At this time, we're going to take hopefully a 5-minute break.
Mr. Armstead, could I say, Mr. President, could I say one thing for a moment?
Sure.
Just a quick note, it just came to mind, concerning facilities, Mr. Signorello's. I was wondering, outside Sherman School, Mrs. Lechner has a very nice banner that hangs out, displaying wonderful attributes that that her teachers instill in the children every day. But on these windy days, a lot of times it's up on the roof, and I was wondering if if we could put like a weight, like a bar through the bottom of it, if we could, just so it would hang down there, so the weight would keep it down. I mean, I just thinking of it.
Mr. Miller, that's not a good idea with the building. As old as it is, if we have a way down there, that way when it hits against it, it's going to start breaking in the exterior.
Mr. Miller, where is it? Right in front of the main door? I go by there and
It's above the front entrance.
Yeah, hang against there, Chris.
I go down Sherman and Sherman. I really go down there. I'll look at it.
Yeah, check it out.
And I'll ask Mr. Plundo or something.
I mean, it could be
Very
just,
sure we can come up with something safe.
I mean, it could just be like a 5-pound rod and down there or something.
5 pounds of feathers?
Something, yeah, which is heavier.
Okay.
Yeah, but check it out.
We'll come up with something. Yes, we'll make something safe.
Okay?
Thank you.
You know what a 5-pound log?
Well,
At this time, we're going to take a few minutes. We have Wayne Thornton coming from the New Jersey School Board. Is coming to give us an ethics class. She's not here yet. She's told to be here by 7:15. If she's not here by 7:25, we'll adjourn. All right, so we have to wait till 7:30. So relax. Okay, so we're going to be adjourned for a few minutes. Thank you.
Like somebody asking you to step up, man. Yeah. Not that one.
No.
This Friday's meeting. Well, that's Mark.
Yes, you can just go over and yeah. Awesome. All right, you just go over and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. When can you back in front of park? Thursday, you know, it's a shield.
No. Yes, that's what I said, 5-pound more.
Want some CDs? Want some CDs?
Yeah, I wish I could get
You're the only one in it.
And I have one more year of experience in years. I'm sure you don't.
So I'm going to email Mr. Salvo and then go out some Thursdays and just all just respond.
I want some residence days. That's a doctor's appointment. Oh yeah, they asked me. But it's
I'll tell you, if you're very honest.
right before the RPSD, like.
Well, I don't have my free time. So when you're 6:30, we have to do any follow-ups.
That's good.
Absolutely. I'm thinking,
How's that off one for 75? So there's two ways to look at it. I might go say, hey, this is all I'm going to say. I've been working for 40. So, two 28-year-olds.
okay,
I want them their first house. Hey, man, this is making me like a park car. All different things. They work 3 different times. That's probably what you mean.
I said,
The point where I got exactly right. Let's go to lunch.
I want to make sure she kind of call ways.
yeah, right? I don't know.
I go to Roselle Park.
No, because the house on Myrtle Avenue, 275.
Yes, yes.
So they just say, well, what's the need? And they'll come cook on it. So, yeah. Yeah, no, they're all, I was never in that house, but I heard my lot was, yeah, so they're all the same. Sucking street.
Busy as hell. Now, again, that's not Sean, single, girlfriend, whatever. I'm living here, you're right, you can't leave here, you can't go to the car, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but like Lincoln,
Oh, no, I know.
what?
Yep.
Setbacks.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because that's right there.
Probably an oily, building.
Trains you right
They got a couple of members. Okay.
I thought he did. That's why I said, you know, for everybody has one of the same reasons. You want to prove it by 27, so that's why he'll send you.
As I said, she was waiting.
You should have been here at 7:15. 7:45. My meetings don't go more than 15 minutes. Nice day, everybody. We had -25 the other day.
And yeah, and then
We're coming back into order, please.
Monday? One more. But in the future, you have to fold it in, so they don't have to.
See you, Joe.
All right.
Okay, we're back in the,
No, it's a grant to,
and I want to give you just a few to set up. Okay. While Ms. Thornton's setting up, she's going to give us an ethics training tonight. She's from the New Jersey School Boards. She does a great job. So for the new members, if you have any questions, please ask. Here's what I'm going to say. If it really needs to have a more of a discussion with that, we'll have them call you or whatever. Only because I'm not going to, well,
You don't want to miss the state of the meeting.
no, I'm just going to go home and go to bed. No. I want to see Dr. Moore.
That's a different on the training. You should have said.
No, it wasn't political, it was just being a good citizen. That's right. I'm
I'm just kidding, I'm just
a
kidding.
former high school teacher of American government, so there you go. I believe in those things. They're worthwhile.
I love it. We just roasting calendar. What is something? I can be a farmer. In my next life, I want to be a farmer.
It's scary. It really is. It's scary. You really have to be part of that.
And because I've been doing this for quite a while, and because I know Lauren, it's okay. And how you like your meetings to be efficient and effective, and this is which I think I have. I have given you the traditional packet on ethics, and we will go through parts of that, but I really would like to start with this, which is a reprint from an article in School Board Notes, School Board Journal, whatever we call our magazine these days, which I should know after 15 years, but in any case, I think it does sum up ethics really well in a very concise way. Which is why I really would like to start with this, especially because we have some new board members, and I think it's very helpful for them to understand these 13 things about board members that a lot of the public don't know, and that you as a board member, a brand new board member, might know. You are the best trained public officials in the state, and you will be required, if you haven't, to attend the board member orientation. and then mandated training in the second year of your first term, and in the third year of your first term, and in the first year of any subsequent term, because you're going to love it so much, you're going to continue to run and stay on your board. Okay? That may not seem like a big deal to all of you, but it really is in the sense that I'm still waiting for our legislative brethren down the street in Trenton to agree to live by a code of ethics or to attend any kind of mandated training before they begin their responsibilities. So I think it speaks very highly of Board of Education members that you do that. Secondly, you have to undergo a background check and fingerprinting. Again, it speaks to the care and concern that you all have for working in a district where children are our primary focus, and making sure that we are the kind of upstanding folks that we would like all public officials to be at the end of the day. But in terms of the ethics piece, adhering to the Code of Ethics, at one time the Code of Ethics was voluntary. It went into statute and is part of 18A, which is the entire breadth and depth of law for education in the state of New Jersey, along with the regulations in 6A, I think it's called, to implement the laws in 18A. And as a result, you're required to live by those Code of Ethics. And the Code of Ethics is governed by a group called the SEC, which is not the Securities Exchange Commission, but the School Ethics Commission. There are 9 members, 3 administrators, 2 board members, 2 administrators, and 5 citizens at large. Not more than 5 of any of that total group can be members of the same political party, so it is nonpartisan. They're appointed by the governor. They meet monthly, and they hear ethics cases that have been filed against board members, and they also issue advisory opinions. If you think that you might have a conflict or there might be a difficulty when you're participating in the decision on a particular issue on a prospective basis before it gets to the board, you can write to the Ethics Commission and lay out what you think are the conflicts or potential issues, and they will write back to you and give you their opinion, which will say, yes, you can participate and vote, or no, you can't participate, you can't vote, and here's why. Sometimes the Ethics Commission, when it gets a request for an advisory opinion, if it believes it has such widespread application all across the state, will make their advisory decisions public. They then become binding upon all Board of Education members. When they do that, they remove the board member's name and district from the opinion before they release it, but it becomes, I don't want to say precedent because I'm not a lawyer and it's not really a legal precedent, but it does become a requirement for board members to know what those decisions are and then to abide by the decision, because the SEC has held that we are responsible for knowing what they've said. So we tend to update any kind of new decisions that come out in school board notes, which you should be receiving electronically, all of you, unless you've chosen to have them sent to you in written format, but most folks use the electronic version. And we always update anything that is of interest to all board members across the state by publishing the decisions there so that you will be aware on an ongoing basis.
A question.
Yes, please.
So if any board member or myself, if the labor, if the attorney says you're not allowed to vote because X, Y, Z, and I believe her 100% time, but if I have that 1% in my mind question, I'm allowed to come to you folks to say the interpretation, I can't do X, Y, Z, can you get advice from you folks?
You can ask for an advisory opinion from the School Ethics Commission. They are separate and apart from us. We don't have really anything to do with them in terms of organizationally. They operate under the Department of Education. But yes, you can do exactly that. And there are times when board members have done exactly that. And then changes come about because people ask those questions. And so it's really never a bad thing to check ahead of time, or if you have a question. We would say to you always, listen to the advice of your board attorney. They're the final arbiter, of any of those kinds of potential conflicts. They're your best resource for getting that answer. But if you continue to have a question, or your attorney may say, you know what, that's ground that's not been covered yet, let's go to that. And I'll give you an example. We had a board member who was getting a divorce from spouse was employed in the school district. And the question became, once the divorce was final, was he still conflicted out of participating in certain areas of board governance, superintendent evaluation, negotiations, and so forth and so on. He asked and requested an advisory opinion, and we got one that said, yes, there is still conflict because you have minor children and you are paying support, so there is a financial tie between. Now, that might be different if you didn't have any children in the district, right? Or you weren't paying support, or they weren't students in the district. In that particular instance, the children were still in the district and were minors. So the SEC said, nope, it's conflict. So then we could say to folks, okay, we now know that if you are, because that question had come up several times, just as a course, matter of course of life. So that's an instance where we gained more information, as did every other board member, so we are more equipped to be able to tell you. So oftentimes there are things where there's silence, and if you don't ask, you'll never know. So.
And when there are, it's time. What I'm saying is, it's not going to be, if you call them today, they're going to give you a ruling on it. So I just want the board members to know that when you do call, okay, it's not going to be if we were talking about X, Y, and Z, and you think there was you have to actually write it down, you have to, send it in. So, and it's 30 days or something like that.
It's a lag.
It's a lag of 30 days. So again, it's 30 days prior that you'd have to do this if you thought you had a conflict.
Right.
Okay, so I don't want anybody thinking you just call them up and right away you're going to get an answer.
No, you're
That's
not.
not going to happen.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm sorry, and I didn't mean to make it sound, it's a bureaucracy like anything else.
Oh, absolutely.
And it takes time. So, but if you know, for example, that negotiations are coming up and it's something you're interested in, you want to sit on that committee, but, you have a third cousin that might be working in the, that kind of thing. And I will tell you that over time, I've been doing this now 15 years, and I was on the Board of Education for the decade before that. Some of the rulings have changed over time. So, for example, it was not considered a conflict if you had a child who was a substitute in the school district. It was considered an at-will employee, and you could refuse. Somebody called you and said, do you want to be a sub today? You could say yes, you could say no. And so the School Ethics Commission had said that's not a conflict for a board member to have a family member who's a substitute from participating in evaluating the superintendent or doing a superintendent search. They've now said, yes, it is. So, things have changed and evolved over time, and what we once knew to be true sometimes is no longer the case. We had a period of years where, because they had less than 5 members present to issue advisories, a lot of advisory decisions were issued that never became public, that once they had 5 members again, because the governors notoriously, for some reason, underappoint to the SEC, we got a whole host in about 18 months of advisory opinions that dramatically changed the face of school ethics for board members, particularly in the area of volunteerism, for example. There were a lot of advisory opinions around what can board members volunteer to do within the school district, what is appropriate with your role as a board member versus before you became a board member if you were just a parent. And I will tell you that a lot of what I did as a parent, as a volunteer, you are no longer able to do, which from my perspective personally, I think is sort of sad. But on the other hand, I do understand the legal rationale for making that provision clear for board members. So,
just a quick question. Did you say that the advisory opinions, they are binding or not?
they are binding.
Whether
If they're made
or not.
public, if they're made public, if you ask for a question and it only applies to this district and to you personally, and it doesn't have widespread application to all board members across the state, they're not going to make it a public advisory opinion. The public advisory opinions are those that the SEC believes have such widespread application and would affect a lot of people, such as the guy that got divorced and has minor children. Lots of people get divorced, and so they may be in that circumstance, so they wanted to make that clear to everybody.
So if they're kept private, just to be clear, they're simply guidance.
They are guidance to you as a board member, guide what you can do with your district, but have no application to other board members. And we knew that there were a lot of advisory decisions being made in that time frame when we weren't getting any, because board members would share with us, they'd share with their board attorneys, they'd share with us. We would hear them, we would know, but we couldn't make them public because they hadn't been made public. And it's not for us to jump the shark there and we move forward with something when the Ethics Commission itself hadn't done it. But again, you know, and my understanding is they're down to fewer members now and having difficulty having 5. So again, we're going without a lot of public advisory. So I'm hoping that Governor Murphy will get up to her some points on the folks because it's helpful to all of you. And I think it leaves you in the dark and puts you at risk in a very odd sort of way. You don't even know that you are until you step over a line that you didn't know was there because they haven't said one way or the other. So I think that that's important to know. Okay. You are legally required to go into executive session. So one of the components of the Code of Ethics is to hold confidential any information that is discussed in executive session. And you're allowed to go into executive session to discuss such items as personnel, student matters, discipline, suspensions, expulsion, special ed placements, any kind of controversy with students. Those two pieces will never become public, and there's an absolute right to privacy for both students and staff. Okay? Those are issues that you can never discuss with the public. So if the public comes and says, we would like to know why you didn't renew Ms. Smith, there's nothing that you can say in response to that except thank you very much for your comment. We'll take it up for advisement. But there's no response that you can have. So those are absolutes in terms of confidentiality. You're allowed to go into executive session to discuss negotiations of any kind of contract that is being negotiated, including the sale of property, for example, that if it became public would put you at a disadvantage, so you were allowed to do that. But those other instances beyond personnel matters and student matters, when the need for confidentiality no longer exists, the minutes from those meetings will be made public. So there is a way for the public, once the need for confidentiality no longer exists, to be made aware of what has happened. Okay? So, you know, it is the most often violated piece to the Code of Ethics, not maintaining confidentiality. And by that we really mean you can't discuss it with your spouse, your neighbor, your best friend, anyone. Truly, you must keep it confidential and keep it sacred. And that is part of the Code of Ethics, and that's why it's so critically important. Okay? We are not the person to talk to if you have a problem with your child's teacher. Again, it may sound like, what does that have to do with the Code of Ethics? But it has a couple of things to do with the Code of Ethics. The Code of Ethics say that you will refer all complaints to the chief school administrator. Okay? You have one employee in the school district. You hire and at one employee, that's the superintendent. You hold the superintendent accountable for his or her performance. He holds or she holds everyone else accountable for their performance. So you don't have any right to direct or ask for information, direction, guidance, or anything else from any other staff member other than the superintendent. Your staff knows that. So your staff should be respectful of board members. That does not mean you can't be friends with teachers and other staff members in the district. You certainly can, but it does mean you do not discuss board business, nor should they discuss board business with you or bring up educational issues. Every single employee in this district has a process by which to be heard. The teachers have an association that includes a grievance process. They have building reps to go to if there's a problem or an issue. They know that there's a chain of command that they need to follow. They need to speak to their immediate supervisor, their teacher, it's probably the principal. If they are a support staff member, they include their directors or their supervisor. And so they all have a process by which to be heard. You as a board do not involve yourself in those processes until they reach the board, until there's a failure of an administrative solution that will start way back down here, work all the way up to the board. If you were to involve yourself refer all complaints, concerns, or issues, whether it's a staff member or a parent or a community member, to your chief school administrator, to the superintendent for resolution. You are the what folks. You say what you want to see happen by creating goals and having to share a vision. The making it happen, the how part, is the responsibility of your educational leaders and experts. Okay? It is not the responsibility of the board. Sometimes that's very hard, because you're all good people, you all want to help people, we all want to solve problems for folks. Because you live in the town, people will come to you. Some folks will assume that you have the authority to change a child's schedule, move a child, get them on a football team, some team, or do some other kinds of things that you just simply do not have the authority to do. Because again, the only time you have authority is when you are sitting here at a duly advertised legal meeting of the Board of Education. Once this meeting is adjourned until another board meeting is convened, you have no more authority than any other person in the Roselle Park community, or than I would in my community, unless I was sitting at a duly advertised meeting of the Board of Education. Okay? So that's something really to keep in mind and remembering in terms of the code of ethics, ensuring that you help people gain access is how you can help them best, to help them understand what the chain of command looks like and who they need to go to get resolution to their problems. So if they come to you, let's say, and they had a busing issue, for example, probably not a problem here, but in some districts it's a huge problem. You would direct them to the director of transportation. Here's his phone number. Give him a call. Explain about how your child was left in the bus stop, whatever the issue is. So you can give them access and the right person to call. Because sometimes community members just don't know where to go. They don't know where to go, but they know who you are because you're Board of Education. So you can provide them with assistance by giving them the access and the tools to be able to get their problems resolved. And that's really important. At a school board meeting, the public comment period is for the members of the public to comment, not to engage with the discussion with board members. This is related to the code of ethics in that, again, you're responsible for protecting school personnel and the proper performance of their duties. The Open Public Meetings Law says that the public has a right to witness your deliberations and the conduct of district business at public board meetings. So appropriately, all topics that don't meet the exclusions to the open public meeting, the executive session, must be discussed in open public meetings, not in private, not in closed session. And so the public has the right to comment on that business, your deliberations, what you are doing, what they perceive what you're doing to be. But it is not a dialogue. It is not a two-way dialogue back and forth. You have board policy that says your superintendent is the spokesperson for the district, your board president is the spokesperson for the board, and unless the board gives that power over to you as a board member on a particular subject, you have no authorization to speak to the press, to go out on social media and discuss those kinds of items, but just to remind the public that you're glad that they're here and that they want to be heard and that you're concerned about what they have to say, but it is not the opportunity to dialogue back and forth with the public. And that's really important to know, and being consistent in how you address it. You don't have the keys to the school building. Again, your role as a board member is to see that the district is well run. It is not to run the district. It is not to be in these buildings on a day-to-day basis and do an analysis of there's a cracked tile, or wow, the bathrooms weren't clean enough. That's not your role. If you have that concern, you can run through your board president, let Lauren know, and we'll make sure that the superintendent is made aware. I'm not saying that, if you see something, you shouldn't say something, but the person you should say it to is Lauren, okay? Or if Lauren's not around, you certainly could, I'm sure, send Pedro an email and let him know. But you don't march yourself down to the principal's office and say, I demand you fix this right now, because you have no authority to direct staff or engage with students any more than I would, okay? So that's really an important piece to keep in mind. Again, you oversee only one employee, and that's the superintendent. Again, Everything runs through the board president and the superintendent. You don't decide when it's a snow day. Again, that would go to the day-to-day operations of the school district, not your role. When I was a board member, we had a superintendent who lived very far away from our district and used to come up on Mondays and then stay in the apartment until Friday and go home. But it was a Monday and it was a snow day and it was snowing out there. And he called me and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I think they don't pay me enough to make this decision. And I'm not making it for you. Call the chief of police, call other superintendents in the town." I lived in one house in one neighborhood. There's 35 square miles. How would I know what the roads look like? It was 5:30, which didn't throw me either. But I get it. And I'm being facetious. I would never say to someone, pay me enough to do that. But at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. You're volunteers. You're not making those kinds of decisions, and that's why you have an educational leader to make those decisions for you. Okay. Keep in mind that committees, if you operate by a committee system, do not bind the board. They can only recommend to the Board of Education. And again, no individual board member has the authority to bind this district to anything or anyone. All right? You don't have that authority as a committee, and individual board members don't have it. You operate by majority, which says that when the full board speaks, then you can direct the superintendent to act. But no individual board member, including the board president, has the authority to direct any person in the school district to do anything. Okay? And at the end of the day, only the full board, the majority of the full board, directs the superintendent, who can then delegate whatever those roles and responsibilities are to other folks, depending upon what it is. Okay? Also, in terms of the code of ethics, I think it's important to remember that you make decisions in the best interest of all students. We all, at one time or another, or most of you, may have had children in the district. Sometimes you're called upon to make decisions that may not be as beneficial to your child as you wish that it could be. But at the same time, your role as a board member is to represent and be the voice of all students, not the third graders, not the lacrosse team, not the magical singers, not National Honor Society, but what is good for all students. And so you want to make sure that you're making decisions around that, which sometimes as a parent can be a little challenging, especially if you feel like your child feels like they're being harmed by something that the Board of Education has done. And I've lived that, and that is never an easy task either. But sometimes those kinds of things happen, and you need to make sure that you're making decisions in the best interest and welfare of all students in Roselle Park. Okay? You're also, yes.
Just a question on that. Is there any guidance for new board members? I don't know this, but so I have children that are entering the district soon. In the reverse, if there's an issue as a parent that the board member will have to address, is there any kind of specific guidance on how to handle it?
You're going to go through the same chain of command that any parent would go through, which would mean that if you have an issue, you would address it first with the child's teacher. If you don't find resolution there, you would then go to the principal. You would make the principal aware. Hopefully, there would be a resolution at that level. And as you worked your way up, you would follow the same chain of command as anyone else would do. Okay? You cannot ask for, not that I'm suggesting you would, but as a board member, you have to be especially conscious that you're clear with the staff that you are there on behalf of your child, and that's why you're there. You are not there as a board member, but you're there. No one expects any of you not to be your child's first and best advocate, because you are. And that's something that hits close to home, I think, for anyone who's a parent. That is your biggest responsibility in life. And so everyone takes that particularly seriously, I hope. And no one expects you, just because you're a board member, to discontinue that. At the same time, you do have to follow that same chain. And in terms of conflict, you are permitted to vote on activities, for example, that your child is to participate in, as long as the benefit to your child is no more than the benefit to every other child. So if the child's in first grade and the entire first grade is going to Liberty Science Center, you can vote yes on that field trip because your child is just one of the entire class that's going. They're not deriving any benefit that is better than any other first grader is receiving. So you are permitted to do that. Okay? But you can't ask for special treatment for your children that would be extended to every other child in the district because that would not be appropriate. You also need to make sure that you maintain, according to the Code of Ethics, your independent judgment and that you're not subject to partisanship, either with a big D or a big R or any other kind of advocacy group, of which there generally are many in school districts. You know, that you're not making decisions based on what, you know, your membership in the special education parent advisory group says or what the PTA is advocating, that you need to retain your independence of judgment as well. And that's something that I think is important to remember as well. We have seen, unfortunately, this move from elections to May to November in many communities has led to a rise in more partisan involvement in Board of Education matters. And at the end of the day, you know, you are separate entities. It doesn't mean you can't share or collaborate in areas where it's beneficial to both county down to the school, your municipality, or your city. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that every time there's going to be that kind of alignment around what's good for the district and good for the town. And you have to remember that you are a separate, independent entity charged with making responsible decisions that are good for the school district, good for the education of all children. And sometimes the municipality might not be as interested in that end outcome as you absolutely have to. They may be looking at other issues and concerns. So that's certainly something just to keep in mind as you're doing this, that I think is really important. Okay. Questions around other parts of the Code of Ethics. Clearly, there are a whole host of examples in there of cases. There talks about the conflicts that you may have. You cannot take money from any vendor. You know, if you again have a concern that you have a family member that's employed by a vendor in the district, again, check with your board attorney before you participate in any kinds of discussions around any of that. If you happen to be or have a family member that is an NJEA member, before you engage in negotiations, check with your board attorney to see what your role is, because it changed, then it changed again, then it changed back. They keep shifting around what you can and cannot participate in terms of negotiations, which makes it a little more complicated than it used to be in those days. But those are particularly the pieces that I wanted to talk to you about tonight. There are also 100 cases listed in there. I actually enjoy reading them. For some people, it's like watching wallpaper dry. All of the cases that we cite in the PowerPoint are all actual examples. Sometimes people say that you make them up. No, we don't have to make them up. So you never want to take any individual action that would compromise the district. And sometimes that's a hard concept, and it's easier to give you examples. So one of the examples there was an ethics case where a board president heard that an employee, an administrator in the district was working in another district and getting paid. So the board president and another board member decided to take it upon themselves to investigate, as opposed to notifying the chief school administrator and asking the chief school administrator to address it, take care of it, and handle it. There was no, the superintendent knew the person was employed, it was after hours, it was employed in another school district, there were personal issues around why the person was working a second job, but you are permitted to work a second job, which is, you know, it's not disqualifying if you're working somewhere while you're not expected to be in your district. And when it was found to have no fundamental basis in fact, they then called the county prosecutor. Okay? They weren't even content to let it ride with the superintendent saying, here's the situation, here's where it is, you shouldn't have done that. They then called the county prosecutor and got the county prosecutor involved. Needless to say, they were found to have violated the code of ethics. The ethics, the SEC can recommend censure, reprimand, suspension, and removal. And they have periodically, for really egregious circumstances, removed Board of Education members from their board. If you fail to attend mandatory training after the year has gone by, along with several 30 and 60 and then 90-day grace periods, and you fail to get that training done, they will suspend you from the board until such time as you complete the training. If you fail to fill out your financial disclosure forms, which you should have all received electronically as Board of Education members and submitted, I know that they're out because we all have to submit ours the same way all of you do as employees of NJSBA. I've been doing it for a number of years, 25 years of financial disclosure, which is fine. Now it's electronic, so it's like really a walk in the park. To do it, they will suspend you from your board until such time as you complete it. So they do have power. In order to do that, they have the ability to do it. So you just need to keep in mind, at the end of the day, anyone can file an ethics complaint against a board member, right? And so your good name is your good name, and once it's gone, it's really hard to get it back. So I always encourage boards to err on the side of caution, right? If you're not sure if you should participate, or you're not sure or clear that you should take an action, always err on the side of caution. Ask your board attorney, or don't do it, whatever it is, until you have chat with someone. I spend my days talking to Board of Education members. I am always happy to talk with you. Send me an email, leave me a voicemail, call me on the phone. I will get back to you. I'm really pretty good about getting back to folks in less than 24 hours. I know there's really no such thing as a board emergency, but I know when you guys get upset about something, you really want to talk about, something. So I really do make a concerted effort. So if you have a concern and you think something might be problematic, please give me a call and ask before you leave it to the abyss. Because once you've stepped over into that abyss, it's really hard to pedal backwards, to dial it back. And you want to make sure. Also on CUSAC, there's an indicator under the governance district performance review that says no one has been adjudicated to have violated the code of ethics. And if one of you does, then the entire board loses points. Now, I think that's absurd. I think that works against the intent of the code of ethics. I made that point competitively in person, as a matter of fact, which is several of the people responsible for that in the Department of Education. I think my director, but they're all retired superintendents that I know. So I have not felt any function about telling them, because I think it really does work against the code rather than working for it. Because if you have it, and someone really does need to have something happen because of behavior, we can litigate against it. What's the point of having it? So keep that in mind. Also, the completion of your superintendent evaluation now carries 13 points in the governance CPR, so it all has to be completed by July 1. It used to be 7, but they bumped it up to 13. So just make sure, I'm putting it out there. Well, for a couple of years, they were a little fuzzy on sort of enforcing it. It was fuzzy. They're now not being fuzzy about it. In 2016, they revised the accountability regulations, which is where those days in the CUSAC comes from. And so they were going to streamline CUSAC and make it simpler and easier. We went from 5 indicators in the governance district performance report to 12. So I said, well, that explains it, that simplifies it, streamlines it. So, be that as it may, just be aware that those 2 pieces are in the CUSAC PPR for governance, and it's now up to 13 weeks. 6 for training within a year of taking your board seat, and then 7 for the actual evaluation itself. So you want to make sure that you hit both targets as a Board of
Good question. Why did they think that years ago when we had to go on a Saturday, I think it was, for the training for new board members? And they weren't everything online now?
No, there's actually 2 new board member orientation weekends.
Oh.
One was held in January, one is the 22nd and 23rd
Oh, okay. I thought there was
February.
1, 2, 3.
And then there's a 1-day orientation, June 15th, and I believe that would be in Jackson, which is not really close to here, I get that, but if you can't make any of the others. We also have Gov 2, 3, and 4, which are generally given, which for board members who do 2 and return Gov 2. Year 3, Gov 3, Gov 4 is the first year of any such return. Those are available to the counties. We call those foundations to success. And if you look at the county meetings online, every county has a county association. The next Union County meeting is this next Wednesday night at Cranford High School. I apologize, I don't remember the topic, but there's always a training opportunity, a wonderful opportunity to network. We also provide you with dinner that has sponsorship, so it doesn't cost your district any money. You always get a governmental relations update on what's going on in Frankfurt, advocacy and legislation affecting public education, and then I'm always there as well as a resource for all of you. So we offer them in various places across. Like we did one in Huntington, and there we covered Huntington and Somerset. We just did one in Middlesex, and covered Middlesex and Mercer, so that we try to get a couple of counties to offer them, and they're on a night. And so instead of having a county training program, we do Gov 2, 3, and 4 county level, so you don't have to travel so far to get the training. And those are also available online as well. They are currently being updated because of all the changes in the law and what's required. For example, for the original Gov 1 superintendent evaluation looks differently than it does now. Deadline date was April 30th, not July 1, so we're in the process of updating those online dates. Since we're not Microsoft, it's a while. Any other questions that I can answer for you? Thank you.
Again, as usual, excellent job. Thank you.
My pleasure, always. You don't have to.
Okay, what about signing?
Those you should sign and give to your board of business administrator so that they have a copy and know you've all been trained. Because occasionally, even though QSEC now is where we vote and you're submitting for back to your compliance conduct, we'll go through again, but please vote again. In case they ask, then have the send off to the county office to prove you've done your duty.
Everybody in your package?
There's a white sheet on the left-hand side.
Yeah. Before you leave, want to sign it? I'll give it to Sue. This way you don't have to worry about it. Any other questions that we might have? Or just
If you don't mind, I have a question.
Please.
You mentioned that public comment is common and it's not for dialogue, that board members should really engage in public dialogue. And then you mentioned social media. I see a lot of dialogue in social media that's full of misinformation and speculation. And part of me wants to correct the record and other parts
So,
on the wall. So
you know,
what's your advice on that?
err on the side of caution, and I'm not kidding. It's very difficult for board members to read misinformation on various blogs or patch or whatever the news sites are that may be not really factual or someone's opinion. But it's very difficult to get into a back and forth with someone on social media. You know what kind of contest I would call it. I don't know here. Standing here, but that's what it is. And I don't think you can ever win one of those. Again, it's a matter of balance. Most districts have web pages. If there is something that is of such great public concern that you're seeing it everywhere, you need to let your superintendent know and say, you know what, there's this misinformation that we're closing the school. that we're going to, eliminate kindergarten, something major. Let them know so that something that can be put on the website that goes out to everybody. Then it's not on you, and it's not your interpretation, because if you're speaking on, you can't really speak on behalf of the board, because you're not authorized to do so. Now, that doesn't mean you give up all your First Amendment rights to free speech, but when you became a board member, they did get a little more limited, because it's about balancing, the laws, the SEC, your rights, and the public's right to know, and all the responsibilities you have as a board member. So if you wanted to write, because it comes from the old days, guidance from when I was a board member, I wanted to write a letter to the editor, the SEC. I said, you can, but you have to be clear that you are a board member here at Roselle Park, that you are not representing or writing on behalf of the board, that it's your opinion alone. You have to make sure that the information you convey is accurate and correct. And a lot of that's open to interpretation. But in the old days, people used to write primarily about the budget. So then if you were going to claim the increase in the budget was X on the average assessed property, you better be right about what your VA told you that increase was on the average assessed property, and not $300 more or $200 less. And that you keep confidential all information. You can't talk about anything on any social media platform or in public. It's confidential. So you do have some rights that you can exercise. That being said, here's the other thing I would say to you. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? Because there's always a risk. Things get changed, misinterpreted, they can get forwarded, they can get, who hasn't been hacked? It's a major company that's what hasn't been documented, hasn't been, personal information hasn't been gotten by someone somewhere these days. And so, if you don't want to see it, here's my other rule. If you're not willing to see it on the front page of the North Star Ledger tomorrow morning, then don't put it in an email and don't put it in social media. You need to be very careful and thoughtful about it. Keep in mind that your emails on your district accounts are discoverable. So someone can ask to see those. And then your Oprah person in the district is going to have to go through all your emails. Now, that's not a problem for me, I used to say, except if you want to know where I'm shopping and spending my money, which I would prefer to not have people know, because they know how much I looked as opposed to what I was getting. But you just need to be mindful of that. Things are discoverable. So don't put something in an email that you don't want to see on the front page of either your local paper or the North Star Ledger. I think in lots of ways, social media and technology is a very effective use. It helps us all do our jobs more effectively and more quickly, but it has also led to a level of incivility where people will post things that they wouldn't say to your face or say to you on a telephone. I call it anonymous testosterone, with apologies to all of you men, but that's what I think that it is. It gives people courage to say things because they're anonymous that they would not dream of saying. And I think that that's not a positive force to demonstrate to our kids. It's not good for us as a community. It's not good for us as a state or a nation. And so I would encourage you to really use great restraint when it comes to social media. That's different than saying you can't do that. Okay? What I'm saying is we have to use our common sense and be very careful about how you use it, what you say on it, so that it doesn't come back to bite you in the backside. Because I've seen that happen as well. What was it, Facebook last week? They found that, on, you can see everybody.
FaceTime.
Yeah, but what's the Apple one?
FaceTime.
Is it
It is
FaceTime?
FaceTime.
If you could do multiple people, right? That was an upgrade with one of the new phones. You could do multiple people, which I have to tell you, I just loved because I could see all my grandkids at the same time, right? Which was lots of fun. But apparently, you didn't even have to be near the phone. You could hear it if you didn't answer it. So people were listening to calls that they didn't know people were listening to. This kid in Arizona known as a kid that found the glitch, and so they have created a patch to fix it. Now, that came from Apple, right? Which you would think would be safe and secure, and it would all be fine. And people getting ticked off because one person's talking to another person, talking about the third person who didn't answer their phone, right? And so now they're having a little, gossip session. And so, just be careful. What was it? No street blues? Just be careful out there.
I'll add this to you, so I say when in doubt, stay out. And just a correction, maybe you could help me out. Even if he sent an email from his personal email to the superintendent, I'm pretty sure that can go.
Oh, it is. It is.
I'm not sure everybody knows that on the table.
Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be the school one, if he has that
No,
from
I know,
us.
but that's why we encourage you to use your school board address for all your district business. Because, yes, if you send it from your personal Gmail account or your AOL account or whatever, it's discoverable too. And then they're going to add, keep in mind, for those of you who work for folks that may have proprietary information on their computers, right? They're not going to be really thrilled when your business administrator wants to go through your business email that has their proprietary business information that they don't want disclosed to the public for whatever set of reasons out there, right? So, again, just, I always think it's better, and here's my other answer. Sometimes board members leave a board meeting and they're really incensed and hot about something because you care and you're passionate. If you must, go home, type the email, save it as a draft, wait till the next morning, and then hit delete. Okay? And call up the person and have a conversation about your comment about whatever the issue is and resolve it face-to-face, person-to-person. We teach our children to do that, right? We hope that we're teaching our kids how to resolve conflicts with other kids and live within the world and structure that they need to. We ought to be able to do that too. I get sometimes it feels
I believe it's 1970, go see the superintendent.
Yeah.
Make a point.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe it's 1970. Have a chat.
Okay, have a chat. It's how you resolve issues.
Well, I've been home for 20 times.
1970, I had 2 kids in that day in 1970.
No,
Ah, man.
no, there's a diner on 22, it's 1970 here, we don't have any Wi-Fi.
I love that. I love
It's the
that.
last time we did it. 1970, there's no Wi-Fi. Enjoy your family.
There was a study done where they got a group of people to give up their phones for 2 weeks. And then they measured their social emotional state, and they found they were happier, less depressed, more connected, had better conversations with folks. I laugh because now when we go into schools, we do strategic planning and you talk to administrators. Not so long ago, I had a vice principal say to me, yeah, I have lunch duty at the high school, and they're all talking to each other with their phones, sitting next to one another. They're not even having a conversation. They're sitting next to each other, texting one another as opposed to having a conversation. So, now we're talking about social emotional wellness and the danger of technology as opposed to the wonderfulness of technology. And quite frankly, because we're moving at the speed of light, it's much more difficult and challenging now to be a board member than when I was a board member. We used to meet on Tuesday nights. The local paper came out once a week. At the Cranford Chronicle, only where I live was the Messenger Gazette. Okay? So you had 2 days from your meeting to call, which we knew, the reporter, the editor, to correct any perhaps misunderstanding, misinformation. Now, they're doing it right from your meeting. You don't even have a chance to even think and digest perhaps what happened that might be wrong or misinformation. It's just out there. So it is a much more challenging time and way of life, I think, for everyone. Nevertheless, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yes, you too.
Spring is
Drive
coming.
safe going home.
Spring is here.
Spring is, oh, I thought if only it was that.
Groundhog said so.
I know, I'm counting on Puxatawny Phil. God bless you.
Oh, before we adjourn, I have one more question. if I may.
I was ready to, don't push me. Yes.
Once again, on the CUSAC, are we going to see that letter?
Yes, I'll send it to you.
You'll send it out?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Any other comments? Again, just wanted to thank you very much. Drive safe, and we'll see you next year.
You're here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If we have nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Nay. Have a good night, everyone. Drive safe and enjoy your weather. It's going to be a little chillier tomorrow.